How we made Candyman. So this is how we made a high production value short film in under 10 days and how you can use some of these strategies for yourself. Okay, let's go. Candyman is the story of Andy and Sally, our two main protagonists, trapped in a world that is being controlled by Mr. Candy, who is drugging the populace to think and feel whatever he wants. Andy essentially gets off the drug, and he's trying to convince Sally to come with him, and it's kind of like a story about truth. That's the theme of the movie.
Andy, what are you doing?
Look around!
Andy, what are you doing?
This is not real. These people, they're not real. Look at their smiles. This is all lies. We are fed lies.
Essentially, this was for a film competition that was for Aperture Light This Location contest that we decided months before that we weren't going to do, and then decided 10 days before it was due that we were going to do it. But the way that it came about was actually really interesting. We actually would eat at the diner that we shot at. It's like a real diner. And we started taking photos with our friends. And when I went home, I started editing that photo, like this very specific photo. And I was listening to a random playlist on Spotify that came up. And the song that's actually in the film is the song that I was listening to. And while I was listening to it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, what if? And kind of the story just kind of blossomed from there. I'm like, what if everybody was based off of a candy bar? And what if the environment was all like this candy aesthetic? And like, what if the guy was drugging the populace? And then I actually, when I was writing it, I was thinking of this one specific game called We Happy Few. And I wanted to fuse the two. And I was like, okay, this would be a really interesting idea. But I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. But now I want to talk about the timeline behind Candyman, because I think when we made this, it was absolutely insane. And this is where more of the, like, I really liked what we made, but the story behind it was way more insane. 10 days before the competition, my DP is like, oh, I really want to do this. And I'm like, well, what if we did this idea? And he immediately fell in love with it. I turned to our producer, Andrew, and I was like, Andrew, so you know that competition that we decided not to do months ago? What if we do it 10 days before it's due? And he's like, okay, if you can get like a team together, I might be interested in producing. I'm like, okay, flash forward 5 minutes later, and I've already called up 30 people that for some reason, without reading the script, every one of them said yes. I turned to Andrew again. I come back to the room that he was editing in. I was like, Andrew, we have 30 people. He's like, dang it. Okay, I guess we're going to do it. And then so from there, this just kind of rushed us into pre-production. We started writing the script as we were trying to get the location, and we're trying to find the money to get the location. We didn't get the location until literally the day before we shot. And then we get on set and we have 25 shots. For anybody that's doing a large budget short, you understand 25 shots in 12 hours is absolutely insane. And yet for some reason our crew was able to pull it off, because they're all just, I think they're all wizards, and we just didn't know. Did you know?
Well, yeah.
Oh.
Hid it from you.
Oh, well, we go back home, we throw a party, we celebrate. For some like miracle of a reason, before Andrew goes to bed, he's like, let me read the instructions one more time before I go to bed to make sure that we have 2 days to edit this. He reads it. He comes back downstairs. He's like, guys, it's due tomorrow. And we're like, are you sick? Let's do it. We wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and literally me and my editor, Corey, edit for 24 hours before this is due, doing visual effects, sound design, editing, color, and then finally we're uploading it, and the export says it's gonna take an hour longer, and we needed to be uploaded in 30 minutes. Somehow, the little engine that could in the PC just decided to go faster than what it said it was. It gets done, we upload it, and we literally get it in like 9 to 10 minutes before it was due. And we celebrate, and we're like, we did it. We did it. I think one important thing too that I want to bring to this piece as well is the candy aesthetic that we wanted to play with. I think from the beginning when I was looking at this diner, I really wanted to play with this idea of candy. And then I found this artist that was animating characters based off of candy bars. I'm like, that's it. Like, what if we just take all the characters and like give them attributes of candy bars and the world is just candy. I turned to my DP Connor. I was just like, yo, can we make this happen? And for somehow he pulls a rabbit out of his freaking hat and he gets the candy aesthetic that I want. And he's like, what if we make it bloom? And what if we make it this dream sweet feel that matches the music? By the way, the music, if you're listening to the music, it is actually very on point with what the actual story is talking about. And that's just like a little hidden nugget that I think was really awesome. I think the whole story was actually also written based off of that song. I also looked to my production designer, Cynthia, and she took the environment and just like pushed it even further with everyone's costume. So both of them did a phenomenal job. So essentially, here's what I took away from this film, and something that I think that a lot of people out there, if you guys are starting out, that you guys can use. I think that the major thing, so I went to film school, but then I also dropped out of film school. But the one thing that I learned that I think is the most important thing in business itself, but especially filmmaking, is build relationships. I think the relationships that Action Studios has kind of accumulated and what we stand for has definitely been a major driving force of the people we've been able to work with. Ultimately, people are the ones that are going to be the ones that make your project happen. And remember that filmmaking is literally like us playing pretend. We literally get paid to like imagine things and then put it into reality. Like that's kind of incredible. And so when you can kind of think about that and just thank the people that are around you for making your imagination come true, that like can go really, really far. The other thing that I think a lot of young filmmakers need to kind of like learn about, and what we're literally Action Studios is built off of, is just the ability to be like, we have this idea, get everyone really excited about it, and let's just go. Sometimes we don't have the resources we need and we just work with what we have. Luckily, this time around, we were blessed with everything that we needed, but that hasn't always been the case with Action Studios. And I think there's just something about being excited about an idea, doing it, and not being afraid that it's like, it's not going to be the one ticket that gets you in, right? It's not like you're going to make something, and if it's great, awesome. If it's bad, move on and make the next thing and be excited about that thing. And I think people are more forgiving than we think we are in the creative realm. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram to kind of keep up to date with us. And we'll see you guys next time.